Chapter 2 of The Visual Marketer, The Science of Seeing, was one of my favorite chapters to create in the entire book. I learned a lot about the underlying science behind the work that I've been doing for the last couple decades. One of the questions we set out to answer in this chapter is, what catches your eye? The answer is actually, it's different for everybody. There are multiple reasons why it's different. Primarily, the way that you see things is based on biology. The way you interpret them is based on culture. One of the things that we get into in this chapter is colors. Simple thing, everybody kind of knows what each color means, but do you know that colors are different from one region to another? Different cultures have different values and meanings behind different colors. In the Western world, we often see white as a color of purity, which is why we see this in marriages and weddings. But in the East, in a lot of countries and cultures, white is a symbol for death. So it means different things across different cultures, and you want to make sure that the images you are creating make sense for the culture that you are producing those images for. When it comes to biology, part of the interest there is faces. We are biologically drawn to faces almost from birth. Scientists have done studies to see how quickly babies are able to start to identify faces and start to identify friendly faces and faces that might not be so friendly, so they know who to trust. This is one of the reasons why we see faces in inanimate objects. In the book, I have an example of something that at a quick glance might look like a face, but then when you look a little closer, it's actually just a power outlet. But right next to it is an image of a person's face, and you can start to see why in a quick scan you start to identify those faces. And it comes down to the biology of trying to figure out who is friend and who is foe. Another aspect of biology in visuals is motion. We are drawn to motion that we catch out of the corner of our eyes because thousands of years ago, we needed to have this information available to us so that we could identify if a threat was coming up upon us. Or sometimes if a food source might be available to us and we want to make sure that we see it and we can capture it. Not only are we drawn to areas of motion, but we're also drawn to areas of high contrast because our brains are able to process that information faster. It's one of the reasons why the cover to this book, I wanted big, bold white letters on a really dark background, because you can scan it real quickly, see what it is, and it actually catches your eye because of the high contrast. This chapter was really interesting, and I hope you get a lot out of it. Thank you.